Yes, 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 it can see me. That's right. Very good. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Or should it be girls and boys? Gentlemen and ladies. It's one of those. Just take it for what it is. Anyhow, let's take a look at what we had going on. So, we'll address some original concerns. So, we had a screw hole that broke loose. I'm going to attempt to show you. And we couldn't have it letting the battery catch. And we did some bracing there for the bottom of the DC jack. As well as wonder how many of those till my mic is dead. So this is on with no battery. I gotta be careful. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It is now. I've just pressed the button. And then we had some bracing to do around the DC jack. Basically under with some foam, really dense foam that I have, and then behind. And then I glued that little arm back in place that actually holds the DC jack there. That was literally no bracing at all. Well, along with doing that stuff, when assembling and filming the conclusion video, the last screw I was turning in broke loose a through hole. Instead of a screw hole, it broke a through hole that helps clamp the hinge in place, plus hold this together against the DC jack. So I had to transplant yet another. And it's the ultimate DIY Dodgy Workshop, I understand. But we're going to assemble this thing and show you that the initial concerns about the DC jack should be addressed. We'll continue with limited setup. I need to get this to a point where I can shut it off. I should be able to shut it off here, and it should pick back up. Anyhow, let me just pop this keyboard out. There's one. And two. We're going to actually pull power instead of letting it sleep. So hopefully that Windows install picks up. Alright. I'm going to take and pause this quick. We'll come back as soon as this is all ready. And why might we come back? Well, there's some questions people want to know. Especially now that I've done two of them, 1 and 2. Do they line up? Because we showed no alignment process whatsoever. Those are probably the pertinent questions people want answered. Do the damn screw holes and through hole line up? Let's find out in a moment. Actually, we'll go to that one now. Let's take a look. There's our screw hole. If we remember correctly, it was, here's the battery catch. It was right by the battery catch. And there's the other one broke loose. So there, in that area coming through. So the screw hole, the through hole, and the DC jack are all in the same area. So first of all, let's take a look at the screw hole that we transplanted. Does it line up? Let's put the screw in. Alright, and it's not loose. Tighten down. I'm not going to torque it super tight. Let's take a moment and put all of our ribbons in place. We know these need to go in for this computer to function. We'll get this hair out of there. Well, those are already in. That's because I had it partially together. Let's get the keyboard. All the other screws are in this area. So, one down. Oh, and the questions we're answering. Does the screw hole line up? Does the through hole line up? does it plug in the DC jack without it moving around and bipping and bopping about, skipping around all over the place like it was, because he couldn't get a good power connection. It kept plugging and unplugging. Let me pause this. Alright, another computer coming in. What more could we want? So, our screw hole lines up. Let's take and flip this over. I don't want to hinge it yet because we still have some questions to answer. Does our through hole line up? So it can go through this, through the hinge, into the part of the body, and clamp down. Indeed it does. I'm taking and hold that together a little as I turn this. I don't know how strong all that plastic is, so I'm going to tighten it down a little, but I don't want to torque it too tight, being that we transplanted that screw hole. But that's going to hold our DC jack in place. And finally, does our battery catch work? Batteries in, batteries out. Batteries in. Alright. Looks good to me, man. I would say, where did that screw come from? Did I not tighten one? Let's take a look. Oh, that's from my optical drive, my mistake. Let me go ahead and, I don't know which one of these belongs to the optical drive, but we'll go ahead and, it's that one. My mistake. My mistake. It's not that big goofy one. So yeah, screw hole works, through hole works, battery catch works, and finally, one last straighten that up for everybody. Let's check our DC jack and alignment on that. Works good, man. Alright. So we're going to hope our Windows setup continues and picks up, and I think we'll hit that screen we dusted up again with some Windex, and oh yeah, right to it. Marvelous. Marvelous. Perfect. We can type the name in, and we'll call this video a wrap here. If you're new here, my name's Nick. I try to fix things regularly. One time, if anybody's paying attention, I have to repeat myself multiple times on that. Yeah, whatever it may be. And with this one, we had to go with the ultimate DIY Dodgy Workshop. Registrations are still open if you want to sign up. Just kidding. This is a secondary device that the customer has. We'll put it there, actually. Secondary device that they use to store pictures. And when it booted up, it came up with all kinds of errors. So, yeah, they're getting a little bit of manpower hours for a lot less dollars, I will say. Anyhow, thank you so much for clicking links, coming over, hanging out, putting up with me, the live streams, the interactions, all of it, and much love, people. I do appreciate it so much. Anyone that shows up, interacts, hangs out, live streams, criticisms, whatever it may be. It's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to sign off here. And that didn't type a dang thing. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.